Disclaimer. The opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and guests. We understand that the topics discussed may be sensitive and provoke strong emotions or differing perspectives. We aim to create an open dialogue, but please note that the views expressed do not necessarily reflect the opinions of all individuals involved in the podcast, nor should they be taken as definitive or professional advice. We encourage listeners to approach these discussions with an open mind, engage in their own research, and form their own conclusions. Your feedback and participation are welcomed, and we appreciate your understanding that this podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Off the Top with Eric Paris and Red. My name is Eric. This is
P.
Man, fuck you. And this is
It's your boy Red. You know what it is.
Damn it. One of these days we're gonna get that shit.
Yeah, we're gonna get it one day. It's okay. We still learning.
Pay a dude on Fiverr to do it. All right. So this episode, we're gonna talk about conspiracy theories. Ooh, mysterious, you know.
Hey, put that sound effect
Like
in the
what?
background too. Yeah.
All right. Jesus. Okay. So we all know conspiracies going around, you know, like what is the government not telling us? What are they telling us that's BS, you know, but they get smaller than that, you know. So we're going to start off with the public figure one, which is probably the more well-known ones, you know, like the one that I'm thinking of that you guys didn't know about was Paul McCartney. Now, Paul McCartney was a member of the Beatles, and the conspiracy theory is that he died in, I believe it was 1973, is the real Paul McCartney died.
Mm-hmm.
They put a stand-in in to replace him, but it was not the original Paul McCartney. It's just been an actor this whole time. So that's the one that I was, you know, thinking about.
Mm.
But what other public figure conspiracy theory?
Well, now that you said
do you guys
that,
have?
I remember hearing that they was actually talking about Kevin Hart when he had his car crash. They said that the Kevin Hart that
when he broke his back.
Yeah, they said the Kevin Hart, because they said based on the car crash itself, when you see it, they were saying that nobody could survive that. So they saying that Kevin Hart is actually a clone right now as well. And
Damn.
Now, do they say it's a clone or is it just a stand-in?
Well, I always heard clone, and not just with him.
Okay,
but like, you know, when people
With
go to jail,
Gucci Mane.
yeah, Gucci Mane becoming a clone. Who was the other dude?
Was it Kodak Black?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I heard about that
face.
too.
I couldn't say it. Yeah.
So when they say clone, like, do they seriously mean like this person was grown in a lab and like took his place?
So the way I've been hearing it is, it's like another, like you said, a stand-in in a meat suit, basically. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that looked just like him, or some prosthetics you throw over them, and you get that.
Yeah.
Not the more.
Well, no. When I think of like a stand-in, I'm like, oh, okay, that to me that's more believable.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's like a clone or like a dude wearing like a meat suit, that's when I'm just like, geez, that's really like severe.
Oh
you know?
yeah. And you know who else pushed the agenda a little bit further than that? What's the black rapper that kind of sound like Eminem a little bit? It's on there we go. He had a lot of songs saying he was Gucci Mane meat suit stand-in. And that also pushed it. And people was like, you never see them two in the same room. I'm like, they're not the same field. You know, they don't mess with the same crowd. But that was
Hobson's not invited. Like, why would he be in the same
That's what
room?
I was saying. But he had like 3 songs saying how he was Gucci Mane, like stand-in, and how the government really do have a lot of people that look similar, and they just put a little mask over them, and you know, this is how the world is.
Tying into that, did y'all see that they were saying that Michael Jackson wasn't dead? And then you know how Michael Jackson, when he was trying, well, I don't know about that, but you know how they were saying Michael Jackson, when he was alive, quote unquote, he will always dress up to go out in public. So they basically saying that he's still alive, and you can see certain mannerisms that he's still alive in certain pictures. So he's still he's still out there, but he's in disguise.
It's like someone's holding up a grainy ass photo. Like, see that guy right there? He's moonwalking. Who else moonwalks like that?
But on TikTok, they did show him coming out of back of a van, going inside some building. I did see that, but whether it's real or not, who knows?
I'm gonna just jump on this before we pass it. I did see that one, but it was with that Burn guy. What's his name? Billy or Bob or something? They said, and Michael Jackson actually did dress up like him. And they was like, this is one of his costumes when he go out in the public. So people will never recognize him. And he ended up having a friend that looked just like this burn victim guy. And that's when they was like, that's still Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember seeing that last week.
That's weird.
Yeah. So they said
weird. No, because like because I have heard stories where like not necessarily the costume, but I have heard that Michael Jackson would like straight up just rent out entire like grocery stores so he could feel kind of normal because he couldn't go out in public because then a mob would form in minutes. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. So like he had to do that to kind of feel like a person, you know?
Yeah, because it'd be like years that he would not just leave a house. Well, not leave a house, but he just wouldn't do certain things because everybody, like you said, the mobs would go crazy.
Yeah. I don't think we have anyone right now who is as famous as Michael Jackson was famous. Like Michael Jackson could go anywhere in the world and everyone knew who he was. Like
I would have said Beyonce, but she ain't on that level. That's
facts. No. I mean, like there's like name any famous person. Like I don't think they're as famous as Michael Jackson was. He was just
he had people crying just standing on stage.
Yeah, he had people fainting just looking at him. Like he was another level of fame. Like so, I can't imagine like just doing a year of like not being able to go outside. Like that would be wild.
Yeah,
crazy as hell.
That's deep.
I would like to argue. It's this one guy I know. I think his name like Red. He talk on this podcast, something like that. Famous as hell.
Yeah. I've never seen James or Red in the same room at the same time.
The myth like Batman.
Who's wearing who? You feel me? Which one is the clone?
That's a good ass question.
What y'all thought about Tupac being on a different island? So he's living out the rest of his days on a different island because they said he got a lot of twins out there that they be posting online, and they said that he's still alive somewhere. Y'all think? Well, it's conspiracies, but
I don't believe it. Yeah, I don't believe it. Like, well, no, because like if you look like how like the type of guy Tupac was, very opinionated, very vocal. I have a hard time believing that he would just be quiet, not say anything, and just live out on an island.
So do you think with his knowledge and the way he was telling stories, do you think the government got him out of there because he was telling so much truth?
Back then was so different, bro. We as a people, I'm not gonna lie, and them ages was dumb as shit. So it was like you beefing with my favorite rapper. I'm really like gonna kill you. It's kind of like how you do sports, but it was to the next level. You don't like Eminem, I'm gonna murder you. You hate P. Diddy, I'm beefing with you in real life. That's how dumb people was.
East Coast, West Coast rap beef. Yeah, yes. the rap beef back in the 90s with East Coast, West Coast, like it's nothing like right now. Like, do you remember years ago, Kendrick hopped on Big Sean's Control and he did that verse where he's saying, "I'm the king of New York." If Kendrick did that in the 90s, Kendrick would be dead. Like,
yes,
absolutely.
Shot up.
No
every
question.
time he went out the state, he would have get shot up.
Yeah, so like the beef back then was very territory, very, like, no, you're not going to be, flaunting like that in front of us like that, like, and so I think that's more gangs. Like, could it be like, is there a tinge where like, like the government got tired of what he was saying, the message he was promoting?
He was letting it out there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like because back then they didn't like rap music as a whole because rap music was black music, right? So that already, government's not going to like it. Government's not going to like a young black man getting wealthy by promoting this message. So do I believe conspiracy? Yeah, he could have gotten killed by the government, absolutely. But in that particular Biggie Tupac, it was East Coast, West Coast beef. in my opinion. That's what I believe.
I can feel that. I can feel that. Now, like, what about the part? Okay, you know how they said like cops was in on it too, because there was so much evidence missing and shit like that. I don't know. They probably got paid off, but I'm not gonna say it was a whole hit squad of aimed, militias and them motherfuckers. I wouldn't say that much. I wouldn't go that far.
No.
What about, all right, so we know how he got, in the movie, they say he got shot in the car in the drive-by.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to the hospital. Do you think that transaction of him going to the hospital, he could have got switched out with a quote-unquote clone? Like, did we ever, I mean, I know how they say we seen the funeral or whatever, but do you think he actually, like, he could have got shot but survived, and then they replaced him with a meat suit, per se?
I'm gonna say no again. I'm gonna say to me that's a little too far for me. I will say this: the government clearly pays a lot of black people to kill other black leaders back in the day. They probably still doing it now. I ain't gonna knock it, but I'm pretty sure they paid a couple people not to do their job fully. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like don't investigate this too much because
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Easily,
Let me pay the gangbangers that's around this neighborhood. Get a lower man to go pay them. Go shoot up this car. We ain't gonna tell you too much, but kill this man. You're gonna get 10,000, and if you get caught, you get caught. That's on you. You feel me? But if you live, you live.
Yeah.
And police officers don't get too much.
And it's like the people they're paying, they actually don't like Tupac. So
exactly.
like,
so
win-win.
why not do it?
You know so yeah.
And if you talk about it, we gonna murk you, more than likely.
Yeah.
So you think it's the same thing with Biggie too? The same situation?
They did the same thing.
I
about to say they did the same thing with what's his name? Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? They had people trying to take him out, but they kind of proved that they had people shooting down from the roof on him though. So it probably wasn't even the shotgun man. That's a little too deep on that part. But back on this one, I'm pretty sure his was just another retaliation. Everybody wanted to beef with everybody.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it all points to gang related and compared to.
But I did hear a rumor.
If the government did do it, they did a really good job of kind of steering clear from it. You know, like not a lot of loose threads.
Right. Now I did hear a rumor. You know how everybody say for some reason when black people get rich, we sacrifice souls to Illuminatis and shit like that. They did say P. Diddy played his part on Biggie though. He was trying to get his masters or something like that. I don't know, but they say he did play his part just like Suge Knight played his part with Eazy-E. And it's always like some black manager that play their part to kill their other people or some shit.
But remember in that the Eminem battle against MGK towards the end, Eminem was saying that P. Diddy killed Pac, but he quote unquote said, I'm just playing I love you. So do you think Eminem knows some stuff that he he threw out there to see if it'll stick? Because sometimes rappers be telling the truth, but then when people look into it, they be, oh no, I was just rapping. I was just going with the flow.
They going to prison over stuff like that now.
Eminem literally rapped about raping his own mother, so I have to give him a little bit of leeway that everything he said was not true. So I mean,
trapped in the closet.
Eminem's definitely if that's what you're saying, he's definitely a grain of salt with every one of his bars for me. Like I don't believe.
But that's the thing though. He could be one of those people that says so much outlandish stuff that he can tell the truth and people won't take him seriously.
And that's what they call it.
Could be a double-edged sword.
No, well, no. I think the one that probably knows more is definitely Snoop Dogg compared to Eminem. Like Snoop Dogg, he's definitely said some stuff in interviews before. Like, was it the Source Awards in New York? I think they were happening. Was it at the Apollo? I can't remember. But that's when Suge Knight showed up, and then he was like talking a bunch of shit about Bad Boy Records, and everyone in the crowd was from New York, and Snoop Dogg was like, this guy's gonna get us killed, because like you don't come to the East Coast and then basically spit on the carpet like Suge did, Right, so like Snoop Dogg's done a ton of interviews where he's been like, yeah, like I had to be that role to kind of like smooth things over after Suge Knight would kind of piss everybody off. And if I hadn't done that, we would have gotten fucking beat up, stomped out, or killed, you know? Right. So I do believe Snoop Dogg definitely is the one to ask those kind of questions too.
Yeah.
All right. So another thing that tied into Reds, I gotta get used to saying that. About the Illuminati. Have y'all heard those stories about people always going to these parties? But they were saying that if you get an invite to these parties, you gotta leave your phone and all that stuff, and then they had those rituals and whatnot. Like basically, if you become rich, you quote unquote sold your soul, and they do those rituals where you had to drink blood and all that stuff, and do all these chants and all that stuff. Have y'all ever heard about stuff like that?
Okay. You guys ever heard of the Bohemian Grove?
Yes.
Yeah.
The big owl where they did the burning over there and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you aware, Paris?
I heard a little bit of it, but I ain't looking to it.
Okay, so the Bohemian Grove is literally this kind of this plot of property in California, and there's so little known about it that it's kind of like Area 51. Like, people don't know about it, so whenever there's a conversation about New World Order or a Illuminati type group of elites, everyone points to, like Bohemian Grove, because Bohemian Grove back in the Nixon administration, he would have, like, I think, recorded conversations where he would talk about, like, like those people that go to the Grove, those damn hippies, you know. And he wasn't invited to the Bohemian Grove, but a lot of high tier class people were. So it's kind of believed to be this kind of secret area that they own. You're not allowed to record, you're not allowed to have your phone there, but a lot of this kind of almost cult like rituals and kind of like all these secret, you know, backdoor deals are happening in this grove with these elites, and they're secretly running the world, you know.
I heard about that. Deep. Yeah, it's like the people that run the world, like what's supposed to be, I don't want to say this wrong, but I know somebody gonna correct me somewhere, but they call it the royal families or something like that. Like, they own 97% of the whole world's wealth, and just 3% is everybody we know, from the famous people all the way down to us. Like, they so rich they can't even be on Forbes because it'll be pointless to put anybody else on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rothschilds, the Kennedys. I think it's an Asian family called the Yins or the Yangs, one of them two. And it's like two more other families, but they own everything. And when I delved deep into that Bohemian Grove conspiracy, that's when I was figuring about how the Rothschilds and how they tried to centralize all the banks and basically just control the world's wealth and stuff like that. But that shit get deep, bro. Deep as hell.
So on the topic of wealth, I know we all heard about how they was talking about getting rid of cash and then making everything digital currency. What's y'all take on that? Like, would you feel like that'd be easier to control the population, to steer them to wherever they want to do it as a mass, as a whole? Or do you even think that'd be a possibility to get rid of all cash, for one?
It's kind of already happening in China. Yeah. The Chinese have a social credit score, and like, say, now there's a lot of things that the Chinese government, like, I'll say this all day, I do not support the Chinese Communist Party, like, at all. Love China, love the people from China, but I do not mess with the Chinese government at all. But they control their populace with these social credit scores. Are you showing up to protests? That's going to lower your social credit score. Are you telling your friends at dinner that, oh man, I really like what the government's doing? Oh, look at that. Your social credit score went up, you know? And everybody has an app on their phone when, you're around someone that has a low social credit score, get out of there, you know? So they kind of are making this the new currency, you know? So, I mean, one, like, conspiracy theories aside, do I think we're kind of moving towards a digital currency and it would probably be easier? Yeah, I think so. Do I think it's being controlled by, like, very, you know, elite tier of people? I have a hard time believing that, but maybe,
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of no currency is kind of happening already in China,
Yeah. And then a lot of
Do you
our
feel it'd
banks,
be better? No, you go ahead.
I'm about to say, a lot of our banks heavily invested into digital currency and crypto and stuff like that, like another form of currency that they will allow to use at their banks. And it's a lot of shit getting converted over, bro. So I can see it literally happening, you know what I'm saying, in the next probably 5 years. You feel me? Like switching over 80% in 5.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing that if we do, they gonna have less control over it. That's why it might be a little back at give, a little push and pull with that. But I still think they probably gonna figure their way around that shit, bro. If we're gonna keep it real, you ain't been ruling the country and the world for this damn long, and then a money switch up, it's gonna break you down. You gonna invest heavily,
Right.
you gonna switch, you gonna go with the times. You feel me? And you gonna
So you
control
do
that too.
believe this? You do believe
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Do you feel it's safer to have all digital currency?
No,
Like it's
Fuck no. That shit dumb as hell.
it's cyber. It's
Let me learn 2
cybersecurity.
hacks and I'm robbing everybody. Like, stop playing with me. No, I'm
I'm
playing.
I'm looking at my CIA guy in the camera, and I'm just like,
Oh shit.
them.
Damn. My
Them.
social score will bring y'all
Keep it
down.
moving.
But
No. Well, no, I mean, like,
Gone.
man,
like the one that I actually do believe is I just saw it the other day, and I was like, holy shit, I totally could see that. Remember NFTs? Everybody was
Yeah.
promoting an NFT, and now no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
I seriously believe that was used by like cartels to launder money. Like they probably hopped on there quick, put a bunch of drug money in there, got their image, sold it, and boom, they got real cash.
Because that's all it ever take. Like the art community, they feel like that's the rich people laundering money. If P, you do a painting, right? And then you say I sell it to E for $20 million. You just clean $20 million. You know what I'm saying? Now that's legally yours. Well, his, but you probably just found that right back through some shell companies. But they say the art industry is really how rich people launder their money when they doing backward deals and illegal shit they don't supposed to be doing.
I remember hearing what was it, a couple years ago that that Odell Beckham he actually had his salary converted to NFT or crypto, and when crypto went down, he lost a lot of his salary.
Yeah,
because
a lot of people got
the stock went down.
Yeah, a lot of people got sued. Like Steph Curry, a lot of athletes and famous people that were doing ads for, I think it was crypto.com, or no, it was FTX. That was a big crypto brokerage.
I remember that one
went down with Sam Bankman-Fried. He had been taking money from people's accounts, and then people were like, it was kind of like a bank run. People went in, tried to get their money out, and it wasn't there. So the people that had no idea of what was going on behind the scenes, like Steph Curry, were getting sued because they were encouraging people to use the system, and they thought it was legit. They didn't think anything was wrong with it.
I wonder how much they got paid.
That's tough.
Well, no, I mean, because like FTX at the time was kind of like the new big thing that was coming up. Like people all the time, like Beyonce did it with Uber. An artist did it for Facebook, where these smaller companies are starting up and they want you to perform. Oh, don't pay me in cash, pay me in stocks. And then, oh shit, that what would have been $100,000 fee to perform shot up to, $80 million in stocks.
Exactly.
So,
right.
I learned that type of shit from 50 Cent.
Yeah.
50 Cent be talking that shit. But my bad for interrupting.
Get the strap. Okay. All right. Let's pivot to government conspiracies. We kind of got into that with the New World Order, but is there any government conspiracies you guys believe? Like as a whole, like do you think they're lying to you?
I wouldn't even say it's a conspiracy. Like both sides, it's really just one government, and it's just another way to divide us, because that's an easier way to control. You know what I'm saying? I do believe in that. Do the presidents do anything? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate me for saying this. I kind of was rooting for Trump only because I felt like he had his own type of money and he wouldn't be in the pockets of the lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why you feel me?
Hold on. Oh, no. I don't feel you at all. So
talk to me.
So hold on. Has there been any new information that's changed your belief in that, or do you still believe that?
No. I don't fuck with him. I just said, like, when he was first coming out, I said he got his own money. He may not be in the pockets of the lobbyists. You know what I'm saying?
But he said he wouldn't even take the
salary. But you know very much that he was taking other people's money.
Of course. But it was just like off the, you just heard this. Like, you just like, I heard Trump
okay. So
like,
initially
damn.
So initially when Trump said he wasn't going to take corporate money, you were like, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm looking like everybody else is like, yeah, well, once I found
out.
You
have since found out that he was, whoring our country's secrets for money,
fuck
right?
That man.
You say you better clear that shit up quick.
Of course.
Just so
let me speak to myself. He just guided me to the
right. He said, no. I'm about to cut this off right here.
Just so we're
go through your whole story, but when we get public, you about to have that whole section cut off.
Just so we're clear. All right, keep going off.
Yeah. Like before, I was rudely interrupted. But yeah. So when I first heard he was running, and I heard I'm not taking money from nobody else. I'm not like them. I'm gonna speak my own mind. I'm really here to help everybody else out. I know everybody lie. You feel me? But in my head, I'm looking like, damn, he really don't get his own money. He may not be in their pockets. So that's what had me like, let's see. You feel me? And then you saw the other bullshit happen, and that just went quickly the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? But as we see from everybody else, even Obama, he didn't help us for shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they in everybody's pockets. Jump and give you a couple $100,000. You gotta do all this for me. Okay, these bills, shit like that. So I don't really fuck with the presidency at all.
My opinion on the presidency is kind of like, you kind of, for the first term, if you get elected 2 terms, you fixing the previous president's shit. So before you even get a chance to implement your own policies, 2 years in, you already, like, for Obama, he was fixing Bush shit for like 2 years.
Nah, he fucked it up bad.
Bush before he even got a chance.
Yeah, you're taking responsibility for their failures and their successes. Because Trump was taking responsibility for the economy, and that was Obama. He was picking up where Obama left it,
Yeah, I understand how you feel. Well, true that majority of the presidency is kind of you trying to be most popular, for one. That's how you get your votes. And whatever you say during the pre-election, that shit just gonna fall by the wayside, because a lot of the times as a president, you still got to go through the other branches to even get one law passed.
Yeah.
So it's not just you calling all the shots, period.
True.
So the presidency is kind of like you just a face of America.
That's all it is. He won a popular contest.
All the other nations it's all about respect. And depending on who was the last one in presidency, respect gonna go either good way or the bad way real fast. Like, public opinion can get swayed overnight, like how Trump did the little paychecks. People wanted to reelect him because we got those stimulus
free
packages.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was only $1,200. That's basically somebody grocery money for a family of 4. Like, that's $1,200 ain't it? And then they want you to say, "Oh yeah, we spent millions of dollars for each citizen to get $1,200. Like, $1,200 supposed to last you a whole year." Like, that shit was gone in 2 weeks for me. But
that's really $100 a month if you think about it.
Man, like, it was some bullshit. But yeah, I feel you on the presidency. But
I will say that this current presidency, as far as campaign promises, Biden's been stellar. So as much as people want to make fun of, like, oh my God, this guy is stumbling and shuffling his way to every speech, he is mopping the floor with Republicans. So would I like to see somebody younger? Would I like to see someone seem a little more competent? Yeah. But the fact that it's Joe doing it and it's pissing the Republicans off so much, I'm like, this is dope. I like this. I like it.
I fully agree with that part. And that's why they're talking about his the way he speak. It's like when you do everything right, I don't say everything right. When you do a lot of stuff right, you gotta pick at something when you fuck up at. So they just finding the little holes in his armor to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? To make him seem like he's a less competent person. But
right.
I ain't been hearing too much bad stuff about it. You know, it's gonna be bad stuff either way it go. But he holding his weight in it. He holding his weight. But everybody said this is pretty much the continuation of the Obama election, or this where it should have been if it was done correctly, or something like that. Or he had another term to continue it going.
Yeah. Like he basically did kind of pick up the Obama rule book, and I mean,
for sure.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, if you ever like, there's a bunch of podcasts that do it. Like NPR does it. But they
Who
follow.
was that? I only heard of off the top.
NPR was the OG podcast. Okay, well,
y'all can't hear my smile, but that's
no.
Look, free promo.
The face that he just made.
Well, no, if you like, they follow like the campaign trail, like when these guys are getting off the ground, and they talk to the people that either sat to listen to their announcement, their speech, or whatever. These people are dumb. Like the average American is dumb. So if like you will find people that like he just shook my hand and have a 5-minute conversation with me, I'm gonna vote for him, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
he kissed the baby.
Name recognition is huge. Like people remember Joe Biden from Barack Obama's presidency, and that's enough.
Yeah.
You know, like that means more than all these other accolades you did in a city council. You know, so yeah, I mean, like.
If it's the most popular.
Yeah, if people know your face or your name, it helps, you know. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to go through a couple of the popular government conspiracies and see if you guys believe them.
The CIA flooded the United States with cocaine.
You damn right they did. That ain't a conspiracy. That's facts. I stand on that. We need Freeway Ricky Ross on this bitch.
We saw Snowfall. If you watch Snowfall, that was the whole story right there.
Man, bro, like it was in cities where, okay, it was in Chicago and shit. Where was all that pure ass coke coming from? With the from the Colombians and shit like that, bro. It was getting flown over, but we ain't had no goddamn airplanes, boats, shit like that. So I knew it was getting flown over here. But then what they say? It was funding the war on what war was they funding? I know you know E. With all the drug money, it was like the war on drugs or the war on something else.
The war against communism.
There we go. They was using drug money that they were shipping, you know, from the drugs that they were shipping here to fund the war on communism.
Yeah, because at the time the U.S. was funding a lot of smaller governments, mainly in like South America. Because the Red Scare, you know, everyone was afraid that countries south of us would be sympathetic to the communists. So we went to a bunch of governments there that had, some of them had dictators, and we're like, hey, you like Democrats, right? You like democracies, you know? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, well, go invade these communist countries and make them stop doing that shit. You know, and they would fund guerrilla groups, militias, private armies. And the way they did that was with cocaine. But that's not a conspiracy. That's true. That shit happened.
Very much a fact,
you know?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be having patients where they be Army vets, and they'd be saying that, yeah, I fought in the war in Vietnam, and we don't even know why we went over there. We were just over there.
Yeah, same thing.
Now they come back and they tortured mentally, PTSD and all that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of that was to get rid of communism. That's why decades later, like Cuba is still like flagged because they're a communist nation. You know, Bay of Pigs, fuck up. Guys, remember that history?
That's crazy.
Okay, moving on. Moon landing. Okay. Do you guys believe we went to the moon, or was it all made up?
I'll let you go.
You go ahead.
You started off, E, man. How you feel about it?
We went to the moon.
No, I feel it's fake. No, the fuck we did.
I feel it's fake. It's so much CGI out there.
Bro,
Well,
it's
back
so
then,
much bullshit.
In
it wasn't
69,
as good as.
in
No, I'm saying
1969,
it's not as good as today. But they showed clips to where they had people who was walking on the moon.
Hold on.
basically in a.
You don't believe we went to the moon?
Fuck no. Why we
No.
can't go again?
The Firmament, what's the Firmament? You say you can't even break that barrier or whatever.
Yeah.
The Firmament or some
The
shit.
Firmament,
I don't
yeah,
even
it's
know how to
Firmament.
pronounce it.
All right, follow up.
Well-
Follow up. Do you think it's made of cheese?
No,
What?
I ain't saying it's made of cheese, but
Do you think
as much as technology
cheese?
had
How would it
advanced
be
at this
cheese?
point,
We should have
no,
broke
I'm
through that
saying
bitch,
like as
or
much as
landed
technology
again.
had advanced at this point, why haven't we went multiple times,
Because
or
there's
at least another time?
because there's not a whole lot to. Once you've gone to the moon and see like what little, okay, this is it. It's a
Yeah, but
it's a barren rock. Why go back?
But if you want the public to believe that you did it, do it again with today's technology. We got way better equipment,
Okay,
way better funding.
but-
You could have did it with a better spaceship, and you can do it with robots.
But-
No,
And
you
they
don't even have
said-
to sacrifice lives.
But
And they
why
said
go?
we couldn't go. No, they said we couldn't go because it's a radiation level in between us and the moon, right? And that's why we couldn't go. But our technology got so much better. How the fuck they do it back then? And we
But
can't do
why
it now.
go back? But why go back?
To prove it, I mean,
What?
the video.
All right.
They already debunked
Okay.
the video.
Okay.
They already said that the guy was standing.
Okay.
In the
Okay.
snow.
Okay. We're gonna unpack this.
They said the dude was on
Okay.
a bungee jump and they
You-
had the flag
Okay.
pointed
Yeah.
this way.
Okay, y'all are saying that.
Take a deep breath. Come on.
You guys are saying
You can cut it out. You can cut the pause
no,
out. Go
no.
ahead.
We're gonna keep that pause in there because that pause has a lot of
It's
pages.
detrimental.
The silent is loud.
All right, so
Mhm.
you guys are saying that Paris, you had said that the NASA it has all this money. It doesn't.
Mhm.
NASA is getting underfunded a lot, So within, honestly, I think Trump was one to boost the NASA budget, but the NASA budget is not amazing. That's why you have private companies like SpaceX coming in, and you have what's his name, Richard Branson's company, Virgin. They are trying to go to space, and Amazon is trying to go to space. That's why you have these private companies owned by these billionaires going. That's why they're doing it. It's because NASA can't do the job. That's why they're giving Elon Musk and SpaceX money to have. They're basically using them as shuttle ships, because
All
it's
right.
cheaper for them to do that because NASA can't afford to do it themselves. So
So
NASA
that
doesn't
being
have this
said-
budget.
So how did they do it before? I mean, I'm pretty sure they ain't had the same amount of money back then.
Well, you got to remember, back in the 1960s, what was the tax rate? It was probably like 30-40%, So back then, the roads were funded a lot better, schools were funded a lot better, libraries were funded a lot better, and so was NASA. So they could afford to do it. That's when you had the big rift, when you had communism, when you only have one company specializing in a certain product, and then over here we had capitalism, where we had multiple companies competing against each other. It was the freedom of choice. So we had so much money in the 60s, it was unreal. That's why the American dream was kind of built there in the 50s and 60s. So we had money to do that.
We'd never be a class 2 society, is what you're saying. We're just gonna be stuck on this blue dot.
No. I like
flat
no.
Earth.
No. I do genuinely believe. I don't know if we're gonna make a colony on the moon. I don't know how advantageous that would be for us. Could there be, future, science, like small camps on the moon? Yeah. Do I feel like that's going to be the next salvation when the Earth is, on its last leg? No. Like they're trying to go to Mars. I feel like that's a little bit more, believable. That's what Elon Musk and SpaceX want to do. So I don't think we're going to be just on the Earth. I think we're just not there yet.
I heard about the Mars shit. And how they said with new technology, they saw that it was once rivers on Mars and shit like that. Then they got the face of Mars, which is like a big sculpture face or some shit. Then they got pyramids on Mars and everything. Conspiracy theory right here. I feel like we was on Mars and we burnt that bitch out and we came to Earth. And we about to burn this bitch out too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with the structures that they showed, we probably blew that bitch up like on some nuclear shit again. You know, I'm being real. We was just doing dumb stuff, bro. You're like, once it showed it was proof. You feel me? Once it showed that it was proof of water, which means it's proof of life. You know what I'm saying? It got the structures up there, the pyramids, the face of the pyramids, the face of Mars. I mean, I feel like we actually did our course with that, and people just are not smart. We restarted on this one, and look at the paces going now. We know we doing wrong, and we're still doing wrong. You know what I'm saying?
So you think it's like Prometheus, that story how those aliens had created humans and shit?
Oh yeah, so something similar to that. Yeah. But I do feel like, you know, it would be the next place to go if it wasn't so fucked up. We probably gonna fix a little bit of it, but we gonna be in them type of camps that you see on the movies and shit. The little domes, the domes and shit like that.
Yeah.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
It takes a long time to terraform a planet, which is basically change the atmosphere. And you want to know one way how you do that?
What?
With nuclear bombs. That is legit one way to terraform a planet, is to nuke it.
God damn.
Yeah.
How we gonna nuke it for the good though? Is that like a cold restart?
Kinda. It basically like reforms the dust in the atmosphere, and it basically changes the layout of the atmosphere. You know, and it's not like, oh, we nuked it, let's go there now. It takes a long time to do.
Yeah, years and
so
years.
So that's why the dome process of just putting settlements that are domed and self-contained, which would be better. But all right, let's try wrapping up some of these ones. I didn't think we would have to debate the fucking moon landing. But
come on now.
Okay.
Hey, you messing with P and Red,
all right,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right. 9/11.
Devil's advocate.
Inside right, job.
You believe it was an inside job?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. What about you?
What about you, P?
I don't think so. I elaborate.
You motherfucker. Please tell me.
I'm gonna wing it because I was in I was in fifth grade when that shit happened. So with all the stories, they never really had a clean shot of the planes crashing into the buildings. So if it was a random terrorist act, like how was two planes coordinated to hit the two of the same buildings or the one next to each other, the World Twin Towers? So if there was two separate, that could be an inside job shit. They could have been talking myself into it. Never mind. I can't play devil advocate on that shit.
Pentagon too, when they hit that shit, but they was saying it was never hit by a plane. It was never hit by a plane, but there's so much footage showing it was a plane crash. Not a plane crash, a bomb that went off there. You know what I'm saying? And they hit like the financial part of it, where they couldn't trace any more money anymore. Come on now. Why would a terrorist hit the financial part to cover up all the monies of like black op jobs and shit like that? Inside job over here, man. I rest my case. Come on, E. Sway me, my mans.
I don't think it was.
You gotta play devil's advocate, E.
Okay. So realistic. Okay. All right, here's my take on it. I don't think it was an inside job. I do, however, kind of believe it was an inside failure, because it's known that back in those days, the 3-letter agencies, NSA, CIA, FBI, they don't communicate as well as they do in the movies, or as the public would like to believe. So I believe that some of these agencies, maybe some other people like Interpol, if you want to go, to Europe and, ask them, I do believe they had the whole picture, but they weren't able to put the pieces together in time. Like their communication kind of like, I feel like if there was more communication at the time, they would have been able to be like, hey, this is set to happen on September 11th, and this is who we think it's going to be. I think it could have been prevented, but I feel like it was just a failure of communication, and that's why 9/11 happened. I don't think it was.
So you basically saying you feel that they knew it was going to happen, they just couldn't prevent it because Like
yeah, I mean, like,
okay,
because some of that stuff has come out. Like, oh yeah, we
Drop the ball on some shit.
yeah, like we had documentation from people at a meeting that were like, okay, like Osama bin Laden is very vocal at the moment. So I mean, like it was just a failure of them to get on the same page about it. But I don't think I don't think the governments were planning it, but I think they knew and could have stopped it if they.
But okay, so what about while the Twin Towers was like 70% empty, like there was no employees there. Then what about it was what the fuck was it? People that was nearby said it sounded like bombs was going off. The way it fell would look like a demolition, set off at key spots and it dropped perfectly down. Shit like that. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, this is kind of like the jet fuel can't melt steel beams kind of thing.
Shit like that type shit.
Well, no, I mean, like people were in the buildings, like thousands of people died. So, like I just learned this the other day. The very first firefighter to be confirmed killed on 9/11, someone fell on him from jumping out the window.
Damn.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't believe. I have a hard time believing it, but you can also look at the other end and see what was the result. Like, oh, we America basically got the green light to do a bunch of stuff, like go to war, to impose these surveillance systems on our phones with the the Patriot Act. It kind of gave the U.S. Army and the armed forces a blank check to do whatever they wanted to in the vein of stopping terrorism. So I mean, I can see it both ways. I personally have a hard time believing the U.S. would bomb a major. Go ahead.
I remember when I was younger, I heard that they did 9/11 to start a war overseas just to collect oil. So that was one of the reasons why 9/11 could have been started, because they was running out of fuel over here in the U.S.
Yeah.
And they needed to start a war to collect the oil over there, to go over there. And they just used Osama bin Laden as a puppet to say, oh, this is the face of the person who did it. So it gave us the reason to go over there. I do remember hearing that.
Well, that actually turned out to be true. So I don't want to say the U.S. wanted to, the protection of, assets, so oil is one of those assets, we did it in Iran back in, the U.S. basically put the Shah of Iran to take control of the country. And he was kind of like was he like a king or something? But he was very sympathetic to the West. He was very willing to work with the U.S. But they had what the hell was it? The Islamic Revolution, which is when they basically deposed the Shah of Iran, took control of the government, and that's when you saw all the Western ideology in the country kind of go away overnight. And you started seeing women with their faces covered, burqas, that kind of thing. Right. So, I mean, the U.S. has done it before. Like the U.S. has done a lot of messed up stuff before. So them wanting to, we did it in Desert Storm with Kuwait, was being invaded by Iraq. I think it was with Saddam Hussein, but I could be wrong on that. I might cut that out.
Wait,
but
I'm gonna let you go. I was about to just ask, which one was that when it was the false accusation of the weapons of mass destruction?
That kind of is what 9/11 fell into.
Okay.
So it was, like the reason we had to go to war not only was because America was attacked, but it was because we were attacked by people that have more dangerous weapons and they could be planning a bigger attack. And that's what kind of gave them the okay for, if this is to stop WMDs, weapons of mass destruction, by all means, send the soldiers. But then every time, someone would come back, they're like, yeah, we found nothing. We found nothing. We found nothing.
Literally nothing.
Oh, yeah, we kind of deposed, Saddam Hussein. And then you're kind of like, that wasn't the goal. The goal was to stop WMDs and, terrorists,
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, like, yeah, Paris, you are kind of right. Like, it kind of allowed them to pivot and say, oh, well, since we're here, like since we're in the area, like
why not?
let's grab this oil,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's this false flag you was talking about?
Okay. So the false flag is when this is actually not even a conspiracy anymore. Like they proved it though. It's basically like we get our people to commit some crimes, and it'll give the okay for us to go invade that. So let's say I say I'm a brother of Islam and I'm from whatever country over there, right? I bomb a couple places and I claim and say this is me and I did it because whatever I believe in this area, that will okay them to invade that exact area that they wanted to in the first damn place. It reminds you of Salt. Remember how he had the Russian kids come to America for a long time, then they killed, supposedly was supposed to kill their president that gave the right to the US to start a war, but they had people in other countries that was going to back Russia to bring down the Western, government, shit like that. If that makes any sense. It's just they use their people to start some shit in a certain area and claim that they're someone else. And now, boom,
right. False flags happen. I mean, they also happen in like domestic stuff too. Like QAnon and Antifa. Like, oh, like if we dress up like a bunch of Antifa guys and
exactly
like beat up all these protesters, it's like, oh,
burn up
see,
shit.
we told you Antifa was the problem or QAnon was the problem. That's what they tried saying on January 6th was, oh no, it wasn't QAnon, it was all Antifa. Like they're trying to get the attention off of them.
Yep.
But I should note, in the case of 9/11, 9 of the 13 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. The U.S. never once invaded Saudi Arabia. Just throwing that nugget out there.
Wait, okay. Last comment. Did you hear about how it really wasn't Saudi Arabia? It was like, I'm saying, I'm gonna paraphrase and I'm probably gonna say it wrong, but it was like somebody funded the money came from somewhere else that wasn't Saudi Arabia. So it was actually someone else's intentions. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't them, it's just the people that they paid to go do it. Like, did you see that where they followed the money trail?
I personally have not, but
okay. I'm gonna pull it up to y'all later though.
All right, so the next thing, chemtrails. You guys are aware of chemtrails? The theory proposes that the white trails left by airplanes are actually chemical or biological agents deliberately sprayed into the atmosphere for various nefarious purposes, such as weather modification or population control. Do you believe it?
I heard about that, but I never thought about it. But it kind of makes sense in a way. But it's just one of those things. Like, if it's not happening immediately, it's kind of one of those things that's hard to prove. Because if you talk about weather modification and you see planes traveling across, the skies, you ain't just looking up like, oh, it's about to thunderstorm tomorrow. It's kind of hard to prove.
Well, no, it actually does happen. Weather modification. It started as like a snake oil salesman back in like the 1910s. Like, oh, your farm's really dry, I can make it rain. And they'd put like a firework, and it would have like silver nitrate in it. But that basic premise has shown to be factual. Like, you can encourage an area to have rainfall if you do something like that. But every plane taking off from the airport doing that, I don't believe that.
No.
That's too much.
God, I had a. All right, do you guys have anything else you want to for the government conspiracies?
Government. Would MK Ultra be a part of the government conspiracy?
Yeah, was that proved, or?
I'm not sure if it's proved, but I know it was a couple celebrities that was in question. I know Cardi B in 2018, I guess she was doing like an interview or something on the red carpet, and she spaced out for like 20 seconds or whatnot, and they showed a video of her like spacing out and then like jumping or whatever, and then going back like resuming the interview, and then they was trying to say that she was under mind control. Draymond Green, when he was in the playoffs, he did the same kind of thing. You stared off into space for like 30 seconds, and then he jumped. So it's kind of like, and there was another lady. I remember seeing her on TikTok. I think she was, I want to say she was a part of NASA. I had to fact check that, but I know she was giving a speech, and then all of a sudden she just stopped talking, and then, but for her, she actually fell back, and people had to catch her. So I remember seeing that shit on TikTok not too long ago, actually. I want to say she was part of NASA. It was a white lady. So like, she was just giving a speech on the podium, and then she just passed out.
So do you know what the speech was about?
So people like glitching out.
There had to be something NASA related.
Okay. Wow. So I do. I can touch bases on that because I know y'all heard, Kanye West do a lot of crazy stuff like that though. But did you hear about like how his nutritionist was a Canadian spy that specialized in it was something mental that is like some type of control thing, how to get information out of you and stuff like that. But they did prove that his nutritionist was that person. So I can see how they may plant certain people to sway you to do certain things or make sure you stay on path. You know what I'm saying? But I feel
Wasn't
like
that on Cold War?
Cold War?
Yeah, on Call of Duty Cold War. Remember when you were stuck in the chair and it was brainwashing you?
Like, that's like being a sleeper agent or a sleeper cell.
Exactly.
Like there'll be a specific. Yeah, there'll be a specific like code word or code phrase that kind of activates you. And then again, that was very big in the Cold War. That is some stuff that actually happened.
Yeah.
But, like there's a show on FX. What's that called? The show that I was referring to was there's a show on FX called The Americans. And in that show, it's about a Russian family of, their sleeper cells. And they look like the number one, pro-American family. They don't have Russian accents. They don't have Russian names, but they actually all, the parents do work for the Russian government, and are spying. So yeah, I mean, like that kind of thing definitely happened, and it happens still today,
Yeah, it was somebody that just got caught. This is the worst thing ever. But it was, I'm going to grab his name for y'all. It was a guy that got caught for selling information to the Russians, and he made like almost $2 million off that.
Yeah. There was, again, there's another guy. The U.S., I think it was the CIA or was it the NSA. They basically tasked this guy with finding a mole.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And he was the mole.
Yeah, he was the mole. So he was the guy that was supposed to be looking for the mole, and he was actually the one that was who he was supposed to be looking for.
Yeah, he was the guy he was supposed to be looking for. Him.
That's he was who he was. He was who he thought he was.
He's him.
I'm about to say it. I'm him.
He was him.
Man.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. So going back to the chem show, have you guys heard the bird conspiracy theory?
All the birds are cameras, and they charge on the wire
lines. It's all surveillance. Birds are not real.
That's too far for me. I'm not gonna lie. That's way too far. That's way too
that's
far.
The case you need to start feeding them the Mentos and bread and blow them up.
Let them blow up. There we go. But I have heard that.
Angry birds in real life.
Man, I heard that a few times. Well, when I heard that theory, it was probably like last year, November. And I was like, okay, do I sound like this when I talk about my conspiracies? Because these men sound like crackheads. Like they sound off the fucking wall. And it don't make sense.
Well, they be saying people who psychotic, they understand the real world.
They like really
they are out of the matrix.
The veil is lifted. Yeah.
Man. Do you need to take?
Speaking of the matrix,
so what is chicken? If birds aren't real, what's chicken?
Chicken is chicken.
I don't know. We eating inorganic meat.
All right, but you're right. What about the Matrix?
We are in the Matrix. I believe that we are in a simulation.
You guys believe in simulation?
now, here's my theory on it. Like, you know how you'll be walking to go find something upstairs and then you just go blank. It's either Men in Black came because you saw some fucking aliens, or they resetted your fucking your whole little mindset because you went into something you wasn't supposed to.
Yeah,
like you saw like the producer. I don't even know the word of it, but you saw something you wasn't supposed to see, so you just went blank.
Yeah,
something like that.
Someone bumped your gaming chair. like, you're like, oh shit.
Or kind of how like you know how you have deja vu and shit. Like it's been some times where I go like when I be at work and I be walking. I'm like, damn, I've seen this shit before. Like hardcore. I'm like, God, I really saw this shit.
Hold on, you said that shit twice. You said you got deja vu. You said it again, and I was like, wait, what? I thought I was tripping out.
See, somebody just bumped your gaming chair, man.
I was like, you just said that shit. All right. Yeah, but like, so deja vu is like the big, like what you think about when simulation theory, you know?
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Like, oh, he wasn't supposed to see this part yet, so
yeah, it's
rewind or some shit.
Yeah, it's most prominent in the Matrix. Like, the Matrix actually has a ton of philosophical questions in it. Like, there's tons and tons of philosophy books based just on the Matrix. But yeah, like basically everything that you are experiencing, everything you see, touch, feel, taste, it's all being, computer generated. You are sitting in a chair, you are, your body is not actually doing anything. It's all being stimulated and produced inside your mind. And
we're not the main characters in our own story, man.
Yeah. So like when you die, you just reboot up in a different character, another NPC, so that again, that's a more philosophical one than like, because there's no way to prove or disprove it, Okay. So that was, there's another it kind of coincides with it's similar to the simulation theory, but it's not exactly the similar concept. It's called quantum, what the hell? There's a name for it. But basically the theory is, it's kind of playing on the multiverse idea, like there's there's an infinite number of alternate yous, there's a red that's, Puerto Rican somewhere, there's a red that's Dominican, and there's a red that's white.
Don't say
right.
that.
So
want to eat pork?
Yeah.
There's pork, bacon,
there's a red white supremacist eating bacon.
There's only one of me. I'm him.
Okay. So basically what this theory says, the theory says that when you die, you just like, you don't die in an existential sense. You basically just pop in another dimension where whatever you died from didn't kill you.
So you wake up in a dream, kind of like when you go to, like when you dream, you live in a your
kind
of
alternate. Yeah. That's it's. I don't know if it's based on that, but it's similar. So basically the idea is like, say, because car accidents happen all the time. Let's just say that. So May 15th, 2027, you get killed in a car crash. And then say you die. What would actually happen? Oh, like that car almost hit me. And then you go about your day as if nothing happened. You would have no idea of it. So it's kind of this quantum, like reality that, there is no way for you to die, because you would just, whenever it happened,
you just keep moving.
You just go to a different timeline or a different dimension,
Okay.
Which again, more philosophical, no way to actually prove that,
Yeah.
So what about when you get like old and 90 years old? You're just gonna come back as a 90-year-old, or?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be tough.
Or your younger self.
Be 90 forever.
You are in constant rebirth or something. I don't know. The 50th timeline might actually be you on your 5th birthday. You know what I'm saying? It just might be a younger you. I don't know. Yeah, like what?
It could be.
It got to be another universe where you wasn't born on 91. You was born on 96 this time, and you just living a younger life.
What about the Simpsons telling the future? Or I won't say, telling the future.
predicting stuff and it actually happens.
Yeah. What's y'all theory on that? Y'all think it? Because I only see it when the shit happened. I don't never
right. It's never like you catch it early. So it could have been altered a little bit. I don't know.
The only one I do remember is Trump being president. I do remember seeing the episode.
I will say that it's a comedy show. They try to be funny, and one of the ways you can be funny is by doing more and more outlandish stuff. So when the world actually does become more and more outlandish, a lot of the stuff they predicted in the past turned out to be true. You know, like they didn't make that episode about Trump being president to say like, oh, Trump would make a really good president. They were saying, wouldn't it be fucking ridiculous if Trump actually became president? And then it actually happened, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like it's just more reflecting how like news and like the zeitgeist of, you know, our society is getting more and more kind of off the rails. And so the crazy stuff that they have in their show is happening, you know?
Okay. Because they did the 9/11 thing too. Well, those was more subtle hints. Then they showed we just said his name. Trump holding the globe with the Middle Eastern guy and the other person, and it was in that same exact order, almost wearing the same exact clothes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, come on now. But look though, I was waiting on one of y'all to say that they do feel like the Simpson is true, because I know y'all saw that part where it showed the firmament where they was playing like baseball and he hit it. He hit the we got a home run and he broke through the firmament and it was like the waters from above came down to us. Y'all didn't see that?
I didn't see that one.
I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, it was like a big whale came out the sky, but that's on the religious part when they said God separated the waters from above from below.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all feel like that's true though?
That's true. That'd be deep.
Do you feel like it's really a firmament out there?
I mean, he the one that said we went to the moon, so.
Oh yeah, so it's no firmament for him. No. Yeah. Okay. But okay, look though. Since you said we went to the moon, what was that? This is another conspiracy theory. I'm gonna pull it up for you. But it was called Glass Bowl, where they was trying to break the glass. It was Operation Glass Bowl. Look this shit up, man. Because you be trying to make me feel like I'm just dumb.
Operation Glass Bowl.
He's stressed out.
Do you mean Operation Fishbowl?
Fishbowl, there we go.
Nuclear tests?
Trying to break the firmament glass.
So wasn't that that shit that you see on TikTok where it was people driving on the freeway and it kind of looked like an explosion in the sky, but it was like a little teardrop and it was all blue and shit.
Yeah, that.
But they were trying to get out of space. Oh, and then there was another one on TikTok where it was a guy actually flying in the plane and actually saw the SpaceX spaceship go into the air and hit something and it came straight down. Like it blew up and came straight down. Like it couldn't pass the quote unquote firmament. And he was in an airplane recording it with his cell phone. You ain't see that?
He not gonna believe it because we've been out of space.
He's gonna cut all this shit out.
I don't believe any of this bullshit you're saying.
What?
I don't believe any of this.
How not, bro?
All right, so do you believe those people?
Well, hold on, Paris. Wait, hold on. You just cited a video that you saw, and yet you don't think that could have been edited, just like the moon landing, apparently, because you've seen what the CGI can do nowadays.
It's terrible.
Okay. Scratch that for a second.
Okay.
What about, remember when they was talking about those astronauts that died that blew up in the when he
in the challenge,
and then they all came back, but they all still alive?
Everybody,
you remember seeing that?
Twins.
Like all the astronauts are still alive.
No, I have not seen that.
Everybody had a twin where there was like a teacher at a university. Yeah. Like people have very similar names that look exactly like them, but this person has a twin brother. The Asian guy had a twin brother,
and just the lady 20 years older.
Yeah, I believe they are dead. What reason?
It ain't another
my thing is the reason. Like, what is the reason to actually have them alive? What is the agenda?
It was like a national tragedy.
Send it to you off air.
It was like a national tragedy to bring back, bring everybody together. We act right when we
why? Why? Like, I don't understand the reason.
We can say why about all of this shit for real.
Exactly. Everything can be a why. Why do you feel like we really went to outer space? Why?
To beat the Russians.
Why?
Because we wanted to show that capitalism was better. We wanted to be better than the Russians.
Why?
It was.
Only thing I knew was about they were trying to get the first satellites off.
Do you think we faked that just to say we was better than them and never really went?
That's what happened in the movie Interstellar. Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
I ain't watching all the way through.
Yeah, that's a different problem. That's a great movie. But anyways, the little girl in the movie who's Matthew McConaughey's daughter, she gets in trouble at school because she believes in the moon landing, and it's because in this future, I think it's set in the future. In this future, this alternate future, the U.S. put it in public schools that the moon landing was a hoax to get the Russians to basically defund themselves by wasting money on their missile research and space research. So it was basically a hoax to get them to waste money on that while the U.S. didn't actually go. Again, I don't believe that was the case. I believe we went to the moon.
Why do you really feel like we made it? Like, when there's so much doubt everywhere, why do you feel like it?
Because I feel like we went to the moon.
That's just a waste of money, man.
Have you ever gone to the
CGI?
Have you ever gone to the Kennedy Space Center?
No.
I have. So, like, you can see the ships, you can see the hangars, you can see the shit.
Be all replicas. No gas.
Just like dinosaurs. Them bones fake as hell.
Hold on. Whoa. What?
Yes, bro. That shit is like paper mache and clay. You can look that shit up. User Google.
He's so hurt. Hey, y'all, the host is hurt as hell right now. Wait till we come up with video. You go see his face just hurt. He's stressed. He tried to cut this shit.
Okay, Area 51. Aliens. We have the Roswell UFO incident. Are you guys aware of this?
Yeah.
There was a crash that happened in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then numerous people that were at the scene, like townspeople, were like, oh, they had something crazy underneath this tarp. No one saw what the Army left with, and it was highly believed from that incident that it was alien technology or even aliens themselves, like they were in the crash.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys believe in aliens?
I
do. Yeah, it's no way we're the only people.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna say people, but the only intelligent species out of billions and billions and billions of stars. It's no way we're the only intelligent life form out there. Like, it's too much. Like, if you want to say there is an outer space,
Jesus Christ,
I do believe in that.
Yeah. Hold on.
So you only believe in outer space in the context of aliens? Is that what you're saying?
And the aliens came from the bottom part.
Inner Earth?
Yeah, inner Earth. They just said, "Oh no, we gonna come to the top." We're tired of being the mole people,
bro. But that shit goes so deep though, because they say past the Arctic walls is really more land. You know what I'm saying? That's another conspiracy theory. It's more land.
No, I don't know what you're saying. You keep saying you know what I'm saying. I don't know what you're saying.
What?
Like, I don't believe any of this shit that you're saying.
Am I the wildest conspiracy theories person ever? It's called like outer.
So are you going along with the Earth is flat part?
No,
I don't really know for that.
No, him.
Well, when it comes to that conspiracy
No,
theory, it kind of got to be flat.
No, I was just bullshitting on that. All right, so did y'all see the video in Las Vegas with the I guess it was a spaceship that crashed and there was people backyard?
No.
Yeah, I heard
And
about
they
that.
called the police, and the police actually saw it on his camera. Like I guess he saw it on another police cruiser's camera, so he saw the shit fall out the sky. So then when he got there, he arrived to these people's backyard, and he's asking other drivers, "Hey, did you see something fall back here?" So they actually went into the back. The police officers went into the backyard, but they had to cut it because it was "quote unquote" private property. That's their excuse.
Yeah, that was bullshit. That was bullshit.
Yeah, so I feel that they actually saw something because the owners were like really adamant, and they described it was a 8 to 10 foot figure with a big eyes and a big head. So when the police made it back there, it was a video of the police jumping back.
So it saw some shit.
That's when, so that's when the video cut out, and they said they couldn't see the rest of it because it was private property. But then when it was another jump of family, they was all talking Spanish. I don't know what they were saying, but they all had guns. So it's multiple videos of people trying to say, "Oh, the aliens behind this fence," and there was another one behind the tractor. So it's no telling where the alien "quote unquote" was, but there's a theory that there was something out of that. Like if the police was scared to jump and to like actually go through it, you supposed to be a public servant. Like you got a gun. I mean, what are you really afraid of?
He just nodded your head. He just nodded his head. Yes.
Well, what's the information you found, Red?
On the outer walls, type shit.
Yeah.
But it really just promotes the flat Earth theory, though. But they say it's supposed to be like another, world past that, and that's where a lot of the stuff be coming from.
Can like we when stop calling it a theory? Because theory suggests that people are trying to figure this out still. It's not going to be proven. So it's not a theory.
You said theory suggests what?
It's being investigated. It's being, we still haven't found out. It's not.
So we just supposed to believe these astronauts flew in 1970 something?
69. 69, yes.
He gonna hit you with the straight facts.
Yeah, I was close enough.
Okay, what do you guys think about Area 51? Do you think that's where a lot of this stuff is being kept under wraps?
There's some shit in that bitch.
I would say yes, but you said it can never be proven, though, right?
Unless you're who's investigating
higher up in the government.
I mean, you can still speculate. Do you think?
So we can speculate your theories, but we can't speculate mine. Didn't he just do that? you basically told me to calmly. Thank you. You basically
hold on. You want me to speculate the flat Earth theory?
Oh my god!
He said, "Fuck what you had to say." What I said,
oh my god.
It could be.
Hold on.
We're getting back on topic to what the fuck I was talking about.
Okay, what are you talking about?
No, that's what you said to me in so many words.
You want to talk about the flat Earth theory?
No, it's cool. It's cool. We don't want to double back. We already hour 30 minutes into this. I got a group chat for you.
This is This is gonna be a wild episode. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's gonna be about an hour 15 minutes.
It's conspiracy theories. You think it wasn't gonna be wild?
I thought it'd be a little bit more grounded.
Because
you can't be grounded with stuff.
I thought it'd be a little bit more
exactly
grounded in reality. Facts.
Yeah, reality.
So you think the Matrix is facts,
man?
No, I never said it was.
Why would you think that was going to be grounded? We talking about the Matrix.
Well, no. It's something that can't be disproven. There's no way to prove it one way or the other. Whereas the flat Earth theory is one that we can irrefutably disprove.
How?
There are tests that you can do to see the curvature of. It's been done. And people that were flat earthers. people that are flat earthers, they've done videos where, okay, well, if we, have these two holes or two walls that have holes in them, if you stand this far apart and I hold up the light, if the earth is really flat when you're holding it up, I should be able to see the light. But if it's really flat, I'm not going to be able to see the light. What happens? They can see the light because there's curvature. So there are ways to refute it. Flat earth isn't real,
Well, if they were just on the curve like a table,
exactly,
just a little smooth part.
It's higher lands and it's flatter lands.
It's slightly dipped.
Yeah.
Roswell, New Mexico.
Explain why every time they show a picture of Earth, it don't got no satellites in the sky. I actually just want to know the answer to that, though.
There probably are. They're just really hard to see. They're small. See, satellites, when you think of satellites, you're probably thinking about the U.S. space station because that is a satellite. Mm-hmm. But satellites can be the size of a big dog, Like, not every satellite in the sky is huge. They're probably the size of a small car.
A big dog.
So, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, there are actually companies right now that are starting up. Again, because the space sector is a big thing because governments like the U.S. government are going to start paying for that, where you got to clear up all the satellite garbage that is going around the Earth. So there are companies that are getting started right now with the future intent of we're going to go up and collect all this debris that's flying, and then we're going to bring it back down.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of debris around the Earth. And then it falls down and liability.
What is it? Yeah, isn't that like the lower stratosphere or some shit? Where is it at?
I don't know exactly what level.
Yeah, because we can't get past it.
You can hear the frustration. It's 2 against 1. You can't take it. You need a 4th.
You do. That blink.
Silence is loud. All right, come on.
I'm learning so much about you guys. I'm learning so much shit right now. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Hey, man. Hey, this is a rabbit hole we can get down forever, but we like that. Nippy bud.
Okay. So there is a theory that, again, there has been, belief that aliens are already here, whether Roswell, New Mexico, space aliens crashed. The other theory on the other side of the fence kind of claims that, well, if there are aliens, how come they haven't communicated yet? And then that kind of brings in another theory, which is kind of annoying how theories kind of branch off other theories. But this particular theory claims that there is a society of space traveling races, I'll say, And the reason why the world hasn't been contacted for consideration of joining this space-faring kind of confederation is because when they go to check out the Earth, it's, oh, wow, there's a lot of war. Oh, there's like a lot of bad things going on. We don't think they're well equipped enough to handle space. Like, we don't want them to branch out. So we're just not going to communicate them. So that's one theory on the other side,
Too destructive.
I can get
so
that.
Like we could be a part of this group, but because of, our inability with, racism, different class warfare, the fact that we are so messed up in all these different social areas, most aliens are like, nope, let's not even talk to these guys.
Yeah, we're not working as one species.
To the party. For sure.
Yeah. Where it's very divided. So that's one theory with that. And then what do you guys think about ancient aliens? Who built the pyramids?
Yeah. I kind of rock with that a little bit because how they said we had to have help along with the like the pyramids that's all over the planet, and they're supposed to be on one line all the way across in areas that what they say. It's all on one straight line though. It's like a little bit from the equator, but they said how it was so far off and in between times that we wouldn't have had contact with each other, but everything is kind of built, kind of similar. and is it's like future proofed. Like it's earthquakes is not gonna fuck them up. You can't even put a piece of paper in between some of the bricks because that's how well they was built. And how the hell did they do that with the technology that they had at that period of time? You know what I'm saying? So I do fuck with the alien, the ancient alien theories. Though I do fuck with that part.
Yeah, same.
Are we all in the same accord?
Yeah,
no,
I heard.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
No. Okay, so do you guys think that there are aliens among us? You know, people walking around in human skins. You know,
like the reptilians.
Like the people.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Do you guys think that's happening?
I don't know for sure.
If they is, they telling their main base we ain't ready. Shit. Why would they want to come out anyway? Shit, we gonna basically dissect them in the lab anyway. If it was true, so they probably gonna stay hidden till we all trying to be elevated as a class of people. Have y'all heard about the classes of people like type 1, type 2 societies and stuff? Have y'all heard about that?
No, tell me about it.
Like they were saying, like the people in Star Wars, I think they were class 3 or class 4 because they can space travel and shit like that. So basically, it was a theory. Basically, class 1 society is what we are right now, but when we advance to class 2 and class 3, that's when we start to utilize the power from stars and shit like that. So we can travel space travel and shit like that. And then we get, I think it's 7 classes if I'm not mistaken. But once you get to class 5 and class 6, then it's like I'm like God, like Omni. You can travel future, past, whatever.
Omnipresent, omnipotent.
Yeah, omnipotent. Yeah. But they said for us to be a class 2 society, we can travel within the solar system. And then travel class 3, you can travel from galaxy to galaxy. Shit like that.
So right now we are 2?
Is like
no, we 1.
Oh, we 1.
Shit,
okay.
We 0.
We're stuck
actually.
on Earth.
Really?
Yeah, we 0 actually. Yeah, class 1, I think you can actually travel to Mars and shit back and forth, no problem.
Oh, we only sending rovers out there, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we haven't really. I mean, could we? Like, I think we could go there. There's no foundational plan to once you're there to come back. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah, we had to have nuclear power that's like infinite.
Yeah.
Like renewable energy sources that's infinite. That's when you get to class 1, I believe.
Yeah, that's when you get into the nuclear energy and
fusion and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Like plasma guns. So basically Halo. That'd be like
class shit, I'm ready.
Class 2. So like
you really gonna be having
androids and shit. Cyberpunk.
I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it.
No more all
meat
theories.
Yeah.
All meat theories. All right. Well, this has been interesting. So, bye, everybody.
Come on, now you gotta end it way more hype than that. Come on. No, hell no. You gonna hey, that was a good ass episode. We all debated. Eric is stressed. We about to cut, y'all. We appreciate y'all listening.
It's your boy Red.
It's probably gonna be broken up into 2 parts.
Man.
It's P. He's stressed. We go close it out for him.
All right.
Peace.